Hey everybody, welcome back to the Top Water King YouTube channel, and today in this video we're going to be talking about Dock's Lure Company and the baits that have been catching the big fish here lately. So far this year, 3 different bass personal bests have been caught, 1 crappie personal best, and multiple bluegill personal bests have been caught this year alone. So what we're going to be talking about is the baits that we've been catching them on. So the first one was this bait right here, the Dock's Lure Company 3.5 gunner. Now the color that was used was the white color, but what happened was my cousin Zack, you guys have seen him in some of my videos before, he was throwing a spinnerbait with one of those white 3.5 gunners on the back of it, chucking it around by a tree, and he had a little bit of overspool in his reel. Went to get it out, went to start reeling again, and there was a fish on it, and he set the hook and caught it. It was a 6.5 pounder. There'll be pictures up of all the fish here that I'm talking about as I'm talking about them. It was caught using the 3.5 gunner on the back of a Strike King spinnerbait, I believe it was. If I remember correctly, it was a Strike King, just a regular Strike King, probably ½ ounce or ¼ ounce spinnerbait if I'd have to guess. I don't really remember. Pretty sure he actually lost it a few casts later, but I don't really remember, so yeah. Anyway, so the next personal best that was caught was my personal best. Now, my personal best bass was caught using this bait right here. So what we were doing, like I've told you before in one of my other videos, we were throwing swim jigs and we were catching the crap out of bass for 3 and 4 pound range fish. There was one that just would not touch the swim jig, so I decided, well, I didn't decide it. I decided to listen to my cousin. My cousin Zack said you need to throw the Ned rig to it. So I did. I threw this bait right here, the Dock's Lure Company Paddle Tail Ned Worm. Threw that bait over there to it. The color that I was using is this green pumpkin color. Threw that over there to that fish, and the second cast I ended up getting bit, set the hook, and it ended up being a 5.3. The first fish I was talking about was a 6.5 pounder. This fish was a 5.3, which beats my former personal best by 1 ounce. But still, it is a new personal best, and I was very happy to catch that fish. The next personal best is my personal bluegill personal best. Now I've beat this multiple times here recently. Now it's kind of hard to weigh a bluegill. If you guys didn't know that, it's pretty hard to weigh a bluegill. But my bluegill personal best that I did weigh was 1 1/4 pound, if I remember correctly, or something like that. And this, I've been beating it quite a bit here recently, but I've been catching them so quickly and so fast. I got on such a pattern that I haven't been weighing them. But here recently, all of my big personal best bluegill have been caught on the Dock's Lure Company water bug. The ones that were here recently were caught on the white water bug, and the first bluegill that I caught, the first really big one, was caught on the root beer color. But I've been using this white here recently because the bluegill have been on beds, casting up underneath the trees, actually climbing into and up into trees and dropping baits down and setting the hook, and have to climb all the way out of the tree to get a picture taken. But as I'm talking here, you'll see the baits and the pictures of fish. But that right there, that bait, the white water bug, has been killing it for the big bluegill here recently and some of the big hybrids. Next, now my cousin has been catching some pretty good fish here recently, and the fish that we're going to talk about right now was caught on this. This is a 2.0 gunner by Dock's Lure Company in a color that he actually helped design. He was using another brand of soft plastics, and this color was working really well, but the bait itself was being torn up extremely quick, and they weren't really working out that well. He'd catch a small bass, the bait would be destroyed. So he asked me if I could try to copy the color and see how well I could do it. So I did, and this color here is called the BS Special, the Baker Special. This bait is phenomenal. This is the bait that caught the 2 pound 9 ounce crappie you guys seen a couple videos ago. It's a fantastic bait. That big crappie, he was just reeling it along, just cast after cast, was reeling it along, and pretty soon felt a thump, set the hook on 2 pound line, ultralight, caught a 2 pound 9 ounce crappie with that bait. Next bait, now this bait actually has 2 different personal bests for one person. My cousin Lyndon, a while back, caught his first ever and personal best hybrid bluegill and green sunfish. You guys have seen me catch those before in my pond and in other ponds. They are basically green sunfish and bluegill who have combined together and created a very mean, aggressive fish. And they are awesome to catch. They are a lot of fun. You can catch them on bass lures. You can catch them on bluegill baits. You can catch them basically on pretty much anything. Hell, I'd say that if you fish enough with it, you could probably get them, if I can get it unhooked, you could probably catch them on this whopper plopper right here. You probably could. I wouldn't be surprised. If you just chucked it around long enough, you probably could. I mean, hell, I caught a hybrid last year on a 6-inch bait. The damn bait was almost as long as the hybrid, but he bit it. He actually inhaled the bait all the way to the hook. The hybrids are crazy. But he caught one, his personal best, his biggest to date on this bait right here. This is a new bait, the 3-inch shad swimmer by Doc's Lure Company. Both fish were caught using green pumpkin as well. Now, a video that I just posted last night, which you guys will have seen by now, hopefully, is the big one that bit this, the big largemouth that he caught. He caught a 5-pound, 8-ounce largemouth using this on a 1/4-ounce jig head, just casting it out and reeling it right above the grass. He had been catching some grass on a few casts before, and he had hooked into something. I kind of was thinking that a small bass had drug him into the grass because he's only using 8-pound line and a spinning rod. And he was reeling it in. He was kind of pulling it weird, and he said that it was pulling back weird, and pretty soon it come up, and it was just this massive head come out of the water. I just threw down my bluegill setup, ran over there, grabbed the fish for him, and we about had a stroke each, because we went from catching bass on jigs and swim baits like that, bass that were anywhere between 10 and 12 inches long, almost like, I think we caught 5 or 6 each at that point, to catching a 5-pound, 8-ounce bass. In the same area. I mean, we were throwing in the same area. This pond was so small, you could almost throw to the other side of it and not even have a problem. And yeah, we were sitting there catching small ones, and all of a sudden, that big 5-pound, 8-ounce bass come up and smoke that green pumpkin swim bait. So, if you guys want to purchase any of the baits here in this video, let me know down in the comments, or you can go and check out Doc's Lure Company on Facebook. We do have a Facebook page set up over there where I post all the pictures of the big fish. Like I said, there will be pictures of the fish here that you guys have seen already with the baits that I'm talking about. So yeah, thank you guys for watching once again. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. Bye.